What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. Hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it, you guys. It is the 16th day of October, and here we are at $111.7 thousand with 11 hours and 20 minutes left in the day. We're at the base of this range that we formed here. It's not that obvious, but if we're on the 4-hour time frame, maybe more obvious, right? The base of this range, right? We're at the very bottom of this range here. I would assume that we are going to move up. I don't think that we're going to move any lower. That's probably the low, right? What we did was we went right below these lows here. So we probably cleared out some stop losses, liquidated some people, and now we're ready to rally again. So I would expect we do the same thing to the upside now, right? We probably come up and we go just above that high there. As soon as we get above that high, that's probably where we're going to find resistance. I wouldn't be surprised if we went somewhere, let's just see, somewhere between that point there and maybe this point here, something in that $116.7 to $118,000 area. We'll probably find resistance there and then come back down. That'd be my guess. I don't think that we're ready to move up just yet and see new all-time highs or anything like that, but I do think we're going to be range bound, much like we were over here, right? Where, I mean, literally, let's just see here. Here, whenever you had your low right there, you came to the base of this range. As soon as you got just below that low, that's when you came back up, right? You had your highs here, and then right whenever you got above those highs, that's whenever you came back down as well. So I think that you're going to see something very similar to that. We'll probably tighten as time goes on. Typically, consolidation phases do tighten typically as time goes on. So I wouldn't be surprised if that happens as well. Looking at this, and actually before we get too much further into the TA, I just want to make some people aware that there is a deadline for 34,000 Bitcoins to be released back to these creditors from the Mt. Gox shenanigans that happened all those years ago. For those of you that don't know, Mt. Gox was the biggest Bitcoin exchange at one point in time, and they got hacked or went down or whatever, and people lost a lot of money. So those people are being paid back, essentially, ideally, right? 34,000 Bitcoin are supposed to be accredited to creditors, and they're having a hard time doing that. They asked for an extension, so the extension is pushed back to October 31st. That's whenever it expires, the court-approved extension right there. I would treat this like a giant unlock, right? That's about $3 billion in Bitcoin, right? That's what that is. That's about $3 billion in Bitcoin right there. So, treat that like a $3 billion unlock. These tokens have been locked from the people that had them stolen from them. It's been locked. These tokens have been locked. They've been put away. Any unlock that happens, no matter what happens, I don't care what the news is, positive, negative, whatever, anytime there's an unlock, that always generates selling pressure. So whenever we have these 34,000 Bitcoins unlocked, essentially, and they hit the open market, we're probably going to see some selling pressure. But I'm not necessarily addressing this to say, hey, this is going to cause the market to crash or cause Bitcoin to move down. I'm more on what the analyst is saying here. Warn of FUD. Yeah, warns of FUD. People are going to use this as a way to try to spin a negative view on Bitcoin and crypto, and that we're going to go lower. So don't buy the FUD. Just be aware of it, right? And be aware that it's probably not that big of a deal. Even though there is going to be some selling pressure, I'm sure there's going to be more buying pressure that sends this thing through the roof, or at least upholds the floor. We're not going to give too much to the downside. I wouldn't be surprised at all if right now we actually did start moving up again. And let's get into the TA on that note. So looking at the 1-hour time frame here, we've definitely crowded this low area. I would say it seems as though maybe to the average person that we would go lower, and maybe that's right. I don't know. We're grinding out this area where, the first time we hit it, we found support and went up here. The second time we found good support. This time, not so much. But I would call that a fake out, and I would think that's a sign of strength as well, and that we're probably going to go higher. I want to look at the liquidation levels here for Bitcoin over the past 30 days. Yes, let's see if this is adjusted. Not really. We got a lot of shorts, guys. 18 billion in shorts almost over the past 30 days. And the shorts and the longs are pretty evenly matched. But the shorts do have it on the 1 day, on the 7 day, and on the 30 day. So, and we're at the base of this range. Right, the shorts outweigh the longs. They were at the base of this range. I mean, there are a lot of longs still. We definitely could move down and clear them out, but I wouldn't be surprised at all if we started moving up from here. Let's just see what the indicators are saying. So the indicators are shifting gears a little bit, right? We've got higher lows coming up here. We have a flat top here. I would think that we break out to the upside. We could come down a little bit in the meantime, but then I wouldn't think that we go below this low here if we come down. I wouldn't think that we come down at all. When I say a little bit, I really do mean a little bit. Stochastics look bullish. MACD looks bullish. RSI, it's very volatile. It's kind of neutral in this area, but I would say you have a bullish posturing about you. The 4-hour time frame here, breaking out of its downtrend, shifting gears again, right? You're kind of moving sideways. I think that we will see some upside movements here pretty soon. If you were to get oversold, that'd be a different story. We didn't get oversold though. We found a higher low. Stochastics look bullish here. They got oversold, reset, and now you're ready to go. That's great. And the MACD also reset. We had a little bit of a red cross here, but now we're coming back up. This actually looks really good. The MACD, I have to admit, this is kind of odd behavior right here, but overall I think it is a positive thing that we are going to move higher. That'd be my expectation. And whenever we do move higher, we probably play off of this fib here. If we take a high, the current all-time high, should we use this low? Or should we use this low? Or maybe that low. Yeah, let's use this low. I don't want to use the scam wick. I want to use this low instead. I can't trust this price action. I don't know if any analyst would. I mean, it's being respected to some degree. Going to the 0.5, back to the 236, it's actually pretty normal to do that. And if that were the case, you know, the target area would be up here. That'd be your next kind of target zone between about 119.5 to 118,000. We do have targets that line up with at least 118,000 already. High to low, right here, the next target area might be closer to about 117.7K, something like right there. So something in this zone more or less. And let's actually put the golden ratio there. Something in that zone might be where we go. And in which case, if we did stop here, prior support right here could become resistance. So maybe we do move all the way up to about 120K. Prior resistance right here could become resistance now. Maybe we do stop at about 117.5K. Something in that range that, hold on. Sorry. Little tickle in my throat almost got me. I would expect that we find resistance up in this zone. If not there, then what we might see is something that is a slightly higher high, as if we're going to these zones, and then we come down. Just like here, we got a slightly lower low, as if we were going to go lower, and then we're probably coming up. So definitely moving up. That'd be my expectation, at least as of now. I don't love the 4-hour RSI. It is in a position of weakness here, but I think what you're doing is you're turning the tide a little bit. Stochastics are guiding us higher. I think we will move up higher. That's my expectation. Looking at the daily time frame here, zooming out a little bit, we're in the same area that we have been every single time that we found support since April. Every single time that we found support in the RSI, we've been below the 40, yet above the 30, somewhere in this area. We're exactly in that area now. I think that this could be a day to turn things around a little bit and come back up. I'm not saying by the end of today that we're going to be all the way up at these levels. Maybe we're working our way up there going over the weekend. We leave a bit of a gap down, and then the next week we start off coming down. We consolidate some more. Again, I really think we're just going to be range bound more or less for the next week or so. Though this range boundness could be coming to an end as early as next week, I would think that we still continue being range bound going into next week. And range bound doesn't necessarily mean that we're moving sideways like we did back here. Oh, look at that. That encapsulates that range perfectly. I didn't even mean to do that. It doesn't necessarily mean that we do that. Range bound, could be like this. It could be shifted upwards. We could be range bound in that kind of scenario as well. But I do think that inevitably we will be breaking out to the upside. It's just probably not this week. Maybe as early as next week, if not the following week. Definitely by the end of this month, I would expect that we are breaking out. This is Q4, and I don't think Bitcoin's going to let us forget that. The stochastics look like they want to cross up. I have to admit, this is a kind of odd area to find support. Typically, you find support in the oversold zone. I mean, if we put a line right here, how often do you find support here, let alone twice? It's kind of odd. I don't see any, even dating back to August, nothing. This is August 2024, by the way, sorry. Nothing really. Right there, one time, back in May. That was the last time we found support or even resistance in this area. We don't really find or show significance here, so it's kind of odd. The RSI, this is a normal area to find support. And the MACD, to be fair, this is actually a good area to find support as well. So maybe if those all uphold, I think that we would be moving up higher. And again, the minimum target here would be something around 116K. I think the maximum target to consider would be something around 120K, yet just below there. After we break above that, we should be moving higher to new all-time highs. Yes, once we get back to 120K and above, we should be considering new all-time highs. And again, I'm not saying we're doing that right now. That might be next week. That might be the following week after that. But sometime by the end of October, we'll probably be above this line. And once we do get above 120K, we should start thinking about new all-time highs. And those all-time highs come in to a tune of like 130K, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. Yeah, like 100, 130, 140, somewhere in that area, just above the 1414, or right there at the golden ratio, 130, 140K. And then once we break above that, it's onwards and upwards to 150 to 160K. And then after that, we hit our final destination at 180K, which is where I think will be sometime by the end of this year. If we're not at 180K by the end of November, that will be our end of year target. It is possible that by the end of the year, Bitcoin could be worth over $200,000. I doubt that we're anywhere above 246,000, 246 to 203. That's my kind of high end of year target. My minimum expectation would be 180K by the end of the year. I don't really have anything else that I want to say. I think I've said everything I need to say. So if you guys like the video, hit the like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Thank you all for being here. 3 days, 12 hours left. I gotta admit, with that much time left in the week, anything can happen. I would love it if we actually closed right here, because if we did close right here, we're right at the 50 on the weekly RSI, and that's a perfect area to bounce. But we're probably not going to get that. I think we probably pull up by the end of the week, so we'll have the RSI close a little bit above the 50, but that's okay. Whatever. We can close a little bit above the 50 and still move higher afterwards, right? I think that's what we're going to see. So anyways, take care. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.